Hey fellow nerdologists, and welcome to the very first episode of Pop Culture Debate. You're witnessing history, I know it's amazing. We've got three very talented young debaters coming in today to debate all the topics that nobody cares about, but we do, so we're going to discuss them for you today on Pop Culture Debate. Please stay tuned and enjoy the show. Pop Culture Debate! Okay guys, welcome to the first ever episode of Pop Culture Debate.
Woo!
Yeah! Woo.
That was real effort, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so today we've got three debaters with us. We've got Craig,
Hello?
we've got Mathew,
Howdy.
and we've got Megan.
Hiya.
And it's going to be fun. We've got 6 questions to debate today. It should be fun. So we just get started, get right into it.
Let's fire ahead.
Okay, right. Question 1. Which is the best starter Pokemon from the original generation? I'll give everyone 30 seconds. Craig, you can go first.
Well, I've got science to back me up here.
Right, okay,
I've done some
science.
actual research. Some person in a crazy university has put together a table of the 3 starter Pokemon and the gyms and how effective they are against them. And I can say unequivocally, Squirtle is the strongest starter
Really?
Pokemon.
Oh, thank
yeah.
fuck.
Okay.
Yeah, Squirtle is the strongest starting Pokemon because the first 2 gyms, think about it, is the Rock Gym and the Water Gym.
Right.
So that's Bulbasaur fucked. Sorry,
Yeah.
can we swear?
I can bleep it out. don't
Yeah,
worry.
that's Bulbasaur screwed.
Try and refrain from swearing.
That's Bulbasaur screwed. And Charizard.
Okay.
Also, the majority of Pokemon are water and grass type Pokemon. So, I mean, that's kind of good for Charizard because they're, but also kind of not because half the amount of Pokemon he's weak against. And in a way, that's also good for Bulbasaur because only like 12% of Pokemon are actually fire types.
Okay.
But that still leaves Squirtle the strongest because that means there's not a lot of Pokemon it's weak against.
Okay.
And once you get past the first 2 gyms, you're going to have a variety of Pokemon, so it's not going to matter really who your starter Pokemon was. That initially, he will be the strongest because he's weakest against the rest, and
Okay.
that's that base.
Right, Matthew, what's your pick?
Well, I have the same Pokemon, but I will argue against science in this one because my pick is also Squirtle. But the reason why he's not the best isn't scientific. For one, that theory I need to argue against because grass is good against both rock and water.
Oh shit!
So that kind of throws out the window. But the reason why Squirrel tops it is it's the best one to start with because as you make your way through Pokemon and you grow and gain your abilities as a player, Squirrel is the one you'll discover that you need. What are you going to need Venusaur for in the future? To learn Cut? No, you're gonna get another Pokemon. You're gonna get like a Bellsprout or something. You're gonna waste Cut on that.
Mm-hmm.
All your HMs can be delayed. So you want to make sure that you give your first Pokemon the best HM, and that is Surf, my friend. What are you gonna surf on? Like you can fly on any Pokemon. You catch a Pidgey right at the start. That's gonna be your flying Pokemon, okay? But what are you gonna surf on? Are you gonna wait till you go through all of Silph Co to get that Lapras? No. Are you gonna catch a Goldeen and then look at me, I'm surfing on the goldfish? No, you want to surf on a turtle. A turtle that will grow into a massive tank turtle with 2 head cannons, my friend. That is an image of dreams surfing on that thing, like a freaking battleship.
Perfect. Okay, and Megan, what's your pick?
My answer is so shit in comparison. This is so funny. I picked Squirtle because he's cute.
Squirtle because he's cute.
He's cute.
Okay.
I'd like to argue with there. I'd say Charizard is much cuter than
But
Squirtle.
he
You mean
scares
Charmander?
me. because-
Charmander, yeah. No, he's
But
definitely
he
not cuter than
scares me
Squirtle.
because I might get burned off him.
That's true.
Yeah.
He does have that
So-
tail.
Yeah, you
That's
have a learning curve for
adorable.
Charmander where you get burned a lot.
Yeah. So I get 2nd degree burns off a kettle. So it's not possible.
So we're all in agreement then. It's Squirtle.
It's definitely
Okay,
Squirtle.
so you've all agreed that it's Squirtle, but like I said, everyone argue your own argument for why Squirtle's the best.
He's
Whoever has the
cute.
best
Yeah.
argument will win. So I'll give you just fight it out. see
Does
who's the
anyone know
best.
what other Pokemon you get in the starting zone after you've picked your first Pokemon? Like you get a Pidgey, so that's you got your water and your wind type. What other Pokemon do you get?
You get a rat,
Mm-hmm.
which you can teach Hyperfang, which is deadly, and eventually it can learn any other ability
Really,
move.
yeah.
So you can pass Thunderbolt onto that useless rat at one point.
Mm-hmm.
I've only ever played Sapphire. I only got into it last year, and then my Game Boy fucked up, and then I had to remake it. So I've actually not even finished Sapphire. That's how bad of a person I am.
Right.
Is that like an instant fail?
I think Megan's out. You guys.
Yeah. I'm gonna concede. I think. Even though
You know you can't stand up against... Your science is nothing compared to just a giant
Well, it's
torso of
science
head cannons.
against preference. It's science against emotional
Well, we were both.
response.
It's difficult because we both agree.
Yeah.
But why is science better than what
and-
Mathew said?
Well, Matthew's kind of using science as well because he's comparing like the abilities you get and can put into Squirtle. So he's using his own science. I've kind of like stolen this, and
Right.
he's just come to the conclusion. That's
So you basically just giving Mathew the point, okay?
Yeah,
Conclusion,
well,
Matthew
I'd like
gets
to
the
say
point.
he earned it though because
Yeah,
he earned it.
He earned
Yeah.
it. Well done, Matthew. Got his first point in the first episode of Pop Culture Debate.
Woo!
What do you think of the rulings? Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I agree.
Good.
What's
Okay.
our
I do
Pokemon?
like Megan's theory, I think.
It's a good
Squirtle
theory.
is
I would
actually
sit by that
very
theory.
cute. She had an argument. It was very cute. That's
I'd like to pull
absolutely
the
fine.
sexist card here. There's some kind of gender bias, I think. Yeah.
Alright, go
Well,
for it.
Men
there's-
have rights as well.
There's one more important question to answer here. Would anyone pick Bulbasaur?
I actually would. See if you got him
He
for
would-
one
he
point.
would-
Bulbasaur would do okay in the first two gyms. I
He would
think.
do great. Even in, like, he technically can't be damaged by electric, but he looks so stupid. He's
basi-
got a bulb growing out of his
Yeah,
ass.
what was he like? Is he like some kind of like dog with a cabbage on top of
Well,
him?
the idea is like, oh, it's a dinosaur with a planet, and we'll call him Bulbasaur because he's a dinosaur with a bulb. No, you called him Bulbasaur because he has a bulb out of his ass, and it's sore.
Yeah.
Bulbasaur.
I understand his
Fair
pain.
That would have been a great argument if somebody had picked Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
So why
Right.
do they call him Squirtle? Just because he squirts a lot?
Well,
I've seen many videos on it.
This is taking a very dirty turn. Right.
there's
On
a
to
reason
the
why I
next.
call him Blastoise at the end.
Oh no. Okay.
I feel sick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question number 2.
We're all going to agree on this one
This,
as well.
this is
Yeah.
taking a dark turn very quickly.
Yeah.
Right. The second question is: pitch a book/graphic novel you would like to see adapted into a movie. So anyone that hasn't maybe been adapted already, if it has been adapted
Right.
already, you've got a better idea, whatever. Show me what you got. So
Right.
we'll go from the other way this
All
time.
right,
We'll go
okay.
Megan to Craig. So Megan, what
Right,
have you got?
I've got two.
Two.
One's a graphic novel,
Is
and
that
then the other
cheating?
one's actually a book, but it is actually currently in development for film, so I'm really excited
Right,
about
I
it.
will say pick one. And
Right,
then
okay.
go
Pick
with
the
it.
one that probably
Right.
isn't in development.
Pick one you like the most.
My favourite one would probably be see if the graphic novels of Princess Leia were made into a film or a miniseries. I would absolutely fucking love that. See if they had Carrie Fisher on it. I don't care. I don't care how old she is. Like, she's absolutely beautiful, so she should just play her own character.
Should get her to just play young Leia as well.
Yeah,
I think she's that
exactly. Or just
versatile.
get her. Yeah, or
Get
just
the young
her.
Jeff Bridges technology from Sean on Princess Leia.
Or like just
There's
get
someone
her daughter.
standing behind her stretching skin off her face back, yeah, all time.
I'd pay to see it. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, right, Matthew, what's your pitch?
Here's the thing with all the picks in terms of like graphic novels. Everyone's gonna either go for franchises established in superheroes and whatnot. So I'm thinking, okay, what graphic novel I've read recently that's an established franchise that's recently made a resurgence and I can bring this particular story to life. But wait a minute, why pick just one? Let's go with two. Let's do a crossover. There's a particular crossover book that I've read recently that is so fun, and now the time is prime to join these two elements together one more time. It is Ghostbusters meets the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh my god, yeah.
All of the yes. And your story is simple, okay? Donatello makes a portal to another dimension because apparently he does machines. So, of course, and naturally they go through it and they gotta find, they meet the Ghostbusters. Oh, these ghosts are these giant lizard things ghosts. No, they're turtles, you idiots. But, then they gotta find, there's this new ghost about. But it's an ancient feudal Japan ghost. It's like the two can mix ninjutsu and ghost busting blasting together again, and it'll be glorious, my friend.
Brilliant.
Right.
And Craig, what's your one?
Sorry, before we continue, is that a comic book though?
Yeah, both-
They
both
did
Ninja
the
Turtles
bit.
and Ghostbusters.
No,
They did
is
the bit.
there a comic book where they've met though?
I don't know.
It's
This
an
is
entire
my-
trade paperback. film.
Alright, okay.
It was an event they did.
Alright, I didn't realise, okay.
Yeah.
That's fair enough, yeah.
Right, don't worry, you can
Yeah,
argue.
yeah,
What's your
okay,
major
yeah.
pitch, okay?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be a bit generic here and keep it within like the superhero genre. And I think because the recent success of Deadpool, like an 18-rated superhero film, I think they should do X-Force, which Deadpool is kind of a part of. And if you don't know what X-Force is, it's essentially the mutant kill squad. They go out and essentially kill enemies that the X-Men can't kill or won't. And I think, that's what we need. We need something like really pulpy and schlocky and violent and gruesome and funny at the same time. I think it'd be cool. And you can see, even though Suicide Squad, it did well box office wise, but it didn't do well critically. I think someone can do that better.
Mm-hmm.
And there's obviously a massive audience for it, considering their box office numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my argument.
All right, now fight it out. See why is your one better than everyone else's?
I'd like to argue that the Ninja Turtles, while powerful, their weapons couldn't do anything against ghosts.
That's
They got to teach Ghostbusters
true.
the ways of ninja, and you get an excuse to strap a proton pack onto Michelangelo.
Yeah.
Think about a turtle in a Ghostbusters jumpsuit
But
making
then-
whips with the new Ghostbusters.
But then their ninja prowess has been underused. They're just pointing and shooting.
That's why the Shredder's there. He's working with the ghost.
The only issue I have with that is how the heck do you put it in a 2-hour film? Like, because it just
I don't
seems...
think that's the problem. 2 hours.
Well, sometimes though, like there's some really, like, using Suicide Squad, like there was too much going on that I actually fell asleep. Like,
Yeah, well.
because I
Well,
got
that's-
so bored.
The good thing about that is you now already have the two established franchise. You have the new
Yeah, that's
Ghostbusters
true.
now,
Yeah.
and you have the new Ninja Turtles. Now, some folk argue that these two things technically aren't good. I argue against them strongly because I argue against anyone denying that seeing a pig and a rhino on screen wasn't the best thing they ever saw this year. So putting those
I
elements
disagree,
together
but
is just yes. Oh, you lie. Rhino farts are hilarious.
Yeah.
And I gotta argue against. I'll argue against the Princess Leia thing for the.
Would you do Michael Bay's Ninja Turtles? Is that what you're saying?
So long as he's still just producing and not directing, I'd still be all cool with that. Plus, it'd be fun to see Michael Bay's production company try and work with the actual cohesively feminist Paul Feig company. It's just like,
Yeah.
so I want Megan Fox to bend over. It's just like no. Because it's
Sure there'll be
conservative.
some sort of
goddamn it.
ghostly
Can we
explosion
have-
in there somewhere.
Can we have Ben Fox straggled on the Ghostbusters car? She's just cleaning it. That's the first
Like the
scene.
ectoplasm.
Yeah. Shia LaBeouf turns up for no reason.
Yeah.
And he starts knowing everyone.
Yeah.
Right, okay, I've
Physically.
heard about like why you disagree with each other's. I want to hear why yours is the best. Why would yours be made?
I think mine's is best in terms of money making potential.
Okay.
I think I could, obviously what I said before, I will just make the most capital.
Okay.
And I think, a lot of these characters are established, so you won't have to do the origin story bullshit. So you can just make a film where the X-Force is established and people are like, that's cool. And it'll
Okay.
make money whether it's terrible or not.
Okay, now why would yours be the best?
Mine would be fun. It's a combination that folk never knew they wanted when it originally came about. And at this point, since cinema's just gone straight down the pan critically wise, with the recent summer blockbusters just not being what everyone wanted, I think everyone just wants fun again. They don't want dour. They don't even want all the storm. They just want mindless, stupid fun, and that would be so up Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles alley.
Okay.
I think cinema's been down for years though. I think it's been down for years. TV's where it's at.
Yeah.
Completely.
So why would Princess Leia make the best adaptation for screen?
Well, first of all, I don't actually think there's enough solid female characters in films. Like, it really annoys me. And if there is, like, even in like games and stuff like that, I actually don't find a serious connection with characters. Like, using like this is so sad, but I love Lego Star Wars, and I was playing the new one, and Princess Leia has one scene in it, one scene, compared to everybody else, and even Luke Skywalker, who isn't even in the whole film, is in it the whole time. And it's so annoying, and I just want to know more about her. Like, there's not enough about her, but you just know she's a badass. And
it's not canon as well.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
not
Skywalker being
canon,
there
and
the whole time.
I'd really just like something canon with her, and you just go, that's why she's General Leia. That's why she's
Have-
so cool.
Have you not read like the mountains and mountains of like extra material they've got
They've
on
actually
Leia?
had a
So
new-
there's not a lot of.
They've done
Yeah.
another new book recently of it
Yeah,
as
they've
well.
done a new one. I've got all the new ones.
Okay, so there's plenty of material there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's the end of the round.
Before we carry on, can I interrupt? Matthew, who would be your cast to play the Ghostbusters now that one's dead?
He said
and
he
there's-
wanted to-
I would
and there's-
use the new ones.
The new
I was
ones,
happy with the new ones.
The females are,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'd want them to have a chance to actually say some funny stuff this time,
Yeah.
as opposed to the half and half that we got from the new one.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot of good points there. Craig with the money making, obviously the superheroes,
Which is
are
what it's really all
ever
about,
so
to be
popular
honest.
to the point where it doesn't matter what Marvel does, their movies are always going to make money whether they're good or not.
This
Let's-
wouldn't be
Isn't that-
Marvel.
Fantastic Four.
Let's be
sorry.
honest.
First
Let's
one
be
was
honest.
great though. I
Was
loved
Civil
it.
War that much different from Batman v Superman?
No.
So in
Yes.
that respect, I'm taking you out. I'm sorry, but I'm taking you out. I like the idea of Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles, the rhino farting, hilarious. And you're right, we do need some fun. We had a bad blockbuster summer this summer. However, I kind of was won over by Megan. It was close, it was very close, but I was kind of won over Megan. I do want to see the Ray we deserve, and I think
Yeah.
Princess Leia, whether they use Carrie Fisher or not, I don't know if that'd be possible.
I think she'd make it possible.
Special effects only stretch so far. But no, Megan has a point.
Next.
Well done.
Uh,
Okay.
If it did have to be recast, is there someone you'd have in mind to do it?
I actually would use her daughter because she sounds exactly like
Yeah.
her. If you put brown hair on her,
It
exact
would really
image,
work.
it works really well. And she's in Scream Queens, so
Yeah.
she can't act
Brilliant.
harshly.
Cool.
Fantastic. Right, on to the third question, right? Okay, third question is, which male Marvel character would you like to see switch genders? So, and in fact, which one would you say would be improved by switching genders as well? Add that into it as well. So, which character would you want to switch, and what would become better if they were a different gender?
Well, I really struggled with this one. And I didn't really think about how improving them, but I thought Black Widow, if she was a man, how drastically would that change her character? I think it would force writers to explore other parts of her rather than just use her for like a femme fatale,
Okay.
and to stop putting her in like a promo art with her ass stuck out and things like that. So I think that would be more interesting.
She has got a glorious ass though.
It is a nice one, yeah.
Okay, and Matthew, what was your pick?
I went a little bit outside the box, so I'm picking a male turned into a female, and I picked the Collector. And most people only really know him right now being played by Benicio del Toro in Guardians of the Galaxy, and this one film before that. In terms of the character, all the gimmick is that he collects things, or he collects heroes or people. And I thought that's a nice neutral ground where you can swap the genders and it wouldn't really matter. But if you're gonna add the gender element to it, have the Collector also have a Tumblr account where they have also made fan art of Steve Rogers and Bucky making out, because that is all Tumblr is filled with right now.
Brilliant. Okay, and Megan, what's your pick?
Well, I actually don't like Marvel that much, but
Good.
when I was a kid, I absolutely loved X-Men, and I couldn't understand why Jean Grey became Phoenix, and I thought it was all because of Cyclops and him being male, and I thought if they were a lesbian couple it might work out a lot better. And I think it makes more sense for him to be female at some points. Like, I just
So
feel like
Cyclops
there'd
for
be-
women.
Yeah, I
Okay.
just think it would be a lot more cooler. Like, I don't know what it is with like mean females. I think it's just more challenging being a woman and like having some sort of problem compared to being a guy sometimes. Because there's more like female problems like bleeding and shit like that, and emotions and stuff like that. I think emotions are a lot worse in women because like they just come out like so. If
Yeah,
it was
just
like
come
a
out of your
female
eyes.
side,
Whoa.
yeah, I feel like if you got
Whoa.
too angry, it would
This is
come out your
This
eye.
is some sexist shit. Just any Marvel here would be better if they were a man. Read every month.
Okay, find out, guys. Let's see, why is your pick the best?
I'd like to point out, Matthew, your argument was you want the collector to change generals just so you could see dirty fan art of it. That was your argument.
That's how you bring it into the 21st century, my friend.
Just so you can.
The Marvel films are slipping behind. They're getting too timeless. They gotta slip right to the modern times.
These like anime hentai kids now.
They gotta think about online promotion as well. You see all that fan art in the films, and then the films just promote themselves.
Yeah.
But the main thing is like the issue I sort of have with both of them is that with the collector, it's a vague enough character that it wouldn't feel like a gimmick like this Force, or we're making this drastic change to the character because marking or focus groups or whatever. It's just like, oh yeah, that character existed. Oh, it's a woman now. Okay,
yeah.
Like with the other ones, it's like if Black Widow became a man, it's just like, here we go, because they have all this shit about them sexualizing Black Widow. Now we've got to make it into a guy, and it's just gonna be weird. Or with the Cyclops thing, so much backstory with them being a couple, and now they're a lesbian couple because money and whatnot. It's just like,
isn't that what you want to like stir things up though? Isn't
not
that
not the expensive characters that you've grown to care for. With Cyclops, it's hard because no one fucking likes Cyclops.
But even if they did change gender, they'll just end up changing it back anyway. So it'd be nice for a while just to see. And also, what would they do with Black Widow? Because so much for her character is the fact that she's a woman and she's a feminine and she's a bit sexy. It'd force her to it'd force them to expand it a bit more if it was a man, because they can't lean on that anymore.
Well, what if they turned it around and it was a sexy man?
I suppose, yeah.
What if they turn Steve Rogers into a woman?
I'm brushing my argument. I think the judge is biased.
I actually thought that was in your favour to add another element to the character. Okay, I'm putting it down. So right, I want to hear your final thoughts. Why is your one the best? I'll go with Craig and I'll work my way around.
Just because I said there, I think it would force them to add new elements. I suppose they could just make a sexy man. But you've got to think, what makes men sexy isn't the same thing that makes women sexy. Like, you can't just show a bit of abs and that's good enough. Like, I think women want a bit more than that to find men attractive.
Women who saw Chris Pratt in Guardians of the Galaxy beg to differ.
They loved his personality, mate. They were all a boyish charm.
Okay, and final thought for Matthew.
Changing the collector, it would be a welcome change. It'd be one that the fans wouldn't cry havoc and let's slip the dogs aboard to fight against. It'd be something like, oh yeah, that's happening now. Okay, let's see what the other characters focus on. Well, they're talking to this new woman character, I guess, and it's just a new gimmick that can work without having a backlash to it.
Right. And Megan?
Mine's just emotional childhood trauma. Like, I just think that they probably should have been lesbians.
Okay.
I just think it would have saved her.
Okay, fair enough. Right, I've made my final ruling. I like all of the answers. They were all really creative, really great answers. This was actually really tough to pick. I find it humorous Cyclops being a woman. However, my only issue with that is that if it was a woman, like you're saying, we had the whole Phoenix Saga. If that avoided the whole Phoenix Saga, we wouldn't get the Phoenix Saga. We wouldn't get one of the best X-Men stories.
I feel like one of the only
good X-Men stories.
No, but I think the Phoenix Saga would have happened though.
The film is
awful. Because the idea of the Phoenix is that it possesses the whole, so it wouldn't matter. Sorry. You're right, Kenny. No, this is silly.
My only issue with the whole Phoenix thing is because I'm basing off the film because I saw that when I was tiny. And I hated that whole storyline, but reading the comics, I absolutely loved it. Right. So that's why I thought that way.
I think you mentioned it saying that it would possibly avoid or help get rid of that, so that I'm taking it the running. But it was a very good answer, very creative, made me laugh. Now it's come down to Craig and Mathew with the Collector and Black Widow, and I'm pretty sure if people listen to this who are fans of Marvel Comics are going to come and try and murder me, but I'm going to go with Craig. I'm actually going to go with Black Widow. I like the idea of the Collector being women and having Tumblr and the whole dirty
that was the entire basis of my argument. Tumblr.
I think the Collector too much of a small character.
Yeah.
And I think he's actually, if you watch the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, he's actually quite garish, quite feminine himself in many ways. So I don't know if that would be too much of a seismic change in that character. However, taking a character, like you said, who is Black Widow, who has been traipse around as a sex object, so we say, for so many years, and turn into a more masculine character. Even if we did turn it into a sexy man, we'd still say a lot. I know there's a lack of female characters in Marvel, but to take a character who's masculine and do a feminine thing where he's like, it's a sex object as a man, would actually be quite an interesting element, would show actually that Marvel can adapt and change. So Craig gets that point. You're all on level footing, well done. Fantastic. Okay, so this is our fourth question. This will put
I
one
feel like
person...
everybody's going to merge on
Yeah.
this one person.
Okay, this will put one person
Squirt
in the
all
lead.
over again.
This will put one person in the lead. So going into this, you have the advantage of the main event question, which means you get to pick first in the main event question.
Oh,
Okay.
that's nice.
So if you want to win this, you get the main, you get to pick the main event question. You get to pick out the bowl first. So the fourth question is: if you could kill, and I mean permanently kill, like
I'm there.
double tap, choked out, decapitated, any character from pop culture, so that's including reality TV, movies, comics, whatever, it's anyone from anything, can be anything, right? Which person would you kill and why? I'll start with Mathew and then we'll make our way around.
Okay, this person needs to die. Every cataclysmic event in the universe he's in has been almost directly responsible by this idiot of a man who calls himself a superhero. That is Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards. I am going to use quotation marks on fantastic because
Oh, I thought it was the same person.
he is just the worst character. He's a smug, know-all, preening little whiny ass boy of a man who can't seem to handle the basic situations. Who is responsible for the Fantastic Four being who they are? Who caused the Thing to essentially lose his life and be covered in stone? Reed Richards. Who was the head of the Illuminati that decided, hey, let's send the Hulk off into space, and I'm sure he won't hold a grudge on that? Reed Richards. Who was the man behind the idea to create a gulag in the negative zone to house superheroes, only superheroes, in the Civil War comic? Reed frickin' Richards. Even in the Ultimate Universe, he is still a scumbag who brought the Supremes over from the other dimension and caused frickin' havoc in their universe. Reed Richards! He can't hold his shit together! Kill him off! He is the cause of everything!
Calling order. Save it for the fight.
Microphone. If you thought that was intense, you should have seen him.
See, Megan, it's not just women that go crazy and lose their shit.
Goodness, I don't think I've been that crazy in a very long time.
His powers are...
Matthew must be bleeding.
His powers are so useless it took a Disney movie to make them cool again. What the
And
fuck's wrong
also,
with you, Reed?
he ripped off Stretch Armstrong as
Yeah.
well.
He doesn't even have a cool name like Stretch Armstrong.
Okay, Craig, what's your
Right,
pick?
well, you said you set these boundaries for these arguments essentially to be limitless. So the person I'm going to pick to kill from popular culture is Donald Trump.
Oh,
Donald
thank
Trump.
It's
God.
Donald Trump, yeah.
Thank God.
You know,
I thought you were going to say Donald Duck there, and I was like, what
You
got
know,
against
this
him?
man doesn't really
I
think.
wrote Donald Duck.
Sorry, him too, grumpy bastard.
so what's your
So
reasoning?
Donald Trump. I don't feel like this one needs an argument. I'm going to give it one anyway. Donald Trump, he's not a methodical man. He doesn't think through his actions. He just kind of goes up and announces whatever, and you don't really want that from someone who could potentially have their hand
Yeah.
over the nuclear weapon button. And he's he says crazy things like, we're going to build a wall over the border from here to Mexico, and then we're going to make the Mexicans pay for it, even though someone did like a worked it out, and not even America could afford a wall as big as they were. So how are the Mexicans? And yeah, I just think he's crazy, and I know he's creepy about his daughter as well. He talks in very sexual terms. I mean, I think he'll be more like a king than a president, with the ancestral stuff. He has no redeemable features whatsoever. I don't know why anyone follows him.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, that's...
So Megan, what's your pick?
I actually completely agree with yours. Mine's Donald Trump as well. But it has been noted, I love conspiracy theories, and there was actually something that was found and was told by somebody that used to work with Donald Trump, and he is actually he's actually siding with Hillary Clinton, so he's actually forcibly making himself look bad to get Hillary to...
You know who I think's behind all this? Reed Richards.
Yeah. Reed Richards wouldn't be that caring and considerate.
And he was like, Hillary.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be that. He wouldn't be that caring and
considerate.
He would only side with actual bad Trump with Reed Richards.
Yeah, he would.
Like, after I read that conspiracy, like, things started making sense to me, and I was like, I see. And then this woman that used to work with him for 1.5 years, she backed up this whole conspiracy. She was like, this is fact. She left a point where I think he actually thought that because his ratings were so good that he could actually become president. So I don't actually know now if he's still siding with Hillary or not. But I think both of them are creepy as hell. Like, I do not support America at all. Like, it's scary.
You were a Bernie supporter.
Why?
Well, I think our arguments are immediately stronger than Matthew's because
I
Donald Trump is real.
I will argue that because no one's going to let Trump build that wall. Do you know who did successfully build a gulag in a dimension that crushes men's souls? Reed Richards! Reed would build that wall. He'd make the wall himself out of his own skin.
Yeah, but Reed Richards isn't real though. That's the thing. And Donald Trump can do actual harm in the real world.
But we won't let him though. The bad thing about it is, it's like no one wants to idolize Donald Trump.
You don't know
People
that,
are
though.
made to idolize Reed Richards because they assume he's the hero, because he's the leader of the Fantastic Four, and people will look up to him thinking his actions are good. It isn't like Hank Pym, whenever he fucks up, he becomes a supervillain, and you realise, oh, this is a bad thing he's done, so now I know. Or when Iron Man fucks up, and then he learns and becomes good again, it's like, oh, he made a mistake. Reed Richards never takes responsibility for his mistakes, and
Donald Trump does.
Oh my goodness, like half of America like actually sides with Trump, like completely. Like,
that's America's own prerogative. American can blow themselves up. I like my fiction. I like looking up to heroes. Reed Richards is not a hero, but we are constantly forced to believe that he is.
I feel
they
like
keep
Donald Trump's
of this
marketing campaign
Isn't,
is this very same to Reed Richards' marketing campaign, where we're constantly meant to believe that Donald Trump's a hero.
And
Reed
plus your
Richards American.
if your conspiracy theory is right,
It is
then why
right,
would we
it's
want to
very
kill
true.
Donald Trump if he's making people vote for Hillary? Isn't that what we want?
Is-
I don't think we want Hillary either. Like,
Would we rather?
I think they should just give up and just go. I think we should have a vote on this.
Well, who are they going to vote for? The Green Party? We can vote for the Green Party. We've got two options. We've got the dickheads and we've got the other dickheads.
I wouldn't be surprised if both of them get taken out. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so I've heard about why you guys disagree with Reed Richards. I want to see why your reason for picking Donald Trump and your reason for picking Donald Trump is better. So what?
I think we could do a lot of good in the world if Trump dies. I think a lot of good things will happen.
I think his wife will be happy. Like.
Possibly. And single.
She'll actually get
Yeah.
the umbrella.
Attractive, yeah.
We'd never have Celebrity Apprentice. I'm just saying.
I think I'd also argue. I think the same people who like Trump also like Reed Richards. So if they think if Trump dies, they'll be a bit more cautious. And think that they
Funny how you bring it back to Reed Richards. It's almost like it's an indirect result. So if we cut off at the source, which is clearly this man here.
There can be no Donald Trump without Reed Richards.
Exactly.
Okay, I want to see your final thoughts from everyone. There's one final thought. I'll go from Craig to
I said mine. So just
Okay,
give me
Mathew, what's your final thought?
He sent the Hulk into space thinking it wouldn't cause any problems. The man is a fucking idiot. Kill him.
Okay. And
That exactly sounds like Donald Trump to me. Like,
we're gonna send the Hulk into space. It's gonna be glorious, beautiful, and the Mexicans are gonna pay for it. Okay.
it's gone.
I've made my ruling. Now, I did set the parameters of anyone in pop culture. This is a tough one. What do you think? I just want to get your opinion before I make my decision.
Well, I like the Donald Trump idea. I think that he needs to go.
You think he needs to go?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
think he needs to go? Well, there's two arguments to this here, and there's obviously real lives versus fictional lives.
Yeah.
Which one's the real
We'll decide
one?
which Kenny prefers.
There's also principle of character. And I would say out of the principle of character, the most damage that's been done is done by Donald Trump existing. But, however, I did not hear enough of you guys taking each other down as to why your reason for picking Donald Trump was better than the other one. Because she had a whole different idea, you didn't really yet. So I'm actually going with Reed Richards.
Yes!
The point.
No!
Sorry, I failed America.
The terrific
I failed
three!
myself.
Kenny cares more about fictional characters than real ones.
I just did not hear enough about you guys taking each other down as to why your reason for picking Donald Trump was better over the other one.
I think
That's
everybody
all.
just.
Hey, Reed Richards has been around.
He does need to die. I'm not denying that.
Let's put it this way.
Me
Reed
and
Richards.
Megan kind of squirtled again a bit.
Yeah.
we kind
Reed Richards has been around a bit longer than crazy Donald Trump, as aside from dumb business Donald Trump here. So surely there's got to be some influence here. We cut off at the source. Trump has no power.
Right. We are on to the main event now. This is the main event question. Since Mathew has the 2 points, he gets to be the first pick out of any one of these TV shows out of the bowl.
Here's the danger
So
zone
there
right
you go.
now.
Anyone, you go.
Okay, and let's pick this one here.
Okay. You guys can decide who wants to
And you go.
That shit.
Okay. And you pick your one. Okay, so just read out what you've got, and then we can start.
I don't have to hide it. I saw you hiding it. I was like, what? Mine's Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Mine is Breaking Bad.
Mine says The Walking Dead.
Okay, are you all happy with those choices? It doesn't really matter.
No.
Okay, right, so basically this is the main event question. They had to pick one out of the bowl. And out of Game of Thrones, The Walking Dead, or Breaking Bad, which one is the best of this supposedly golden age of television that's kind of began the golden age of television? What do you think is the best show? You've each got one. Make your argument. I'll start with Craig and I'll work my way around.
I think Game of Thrones is good because it shows what kind of TV can do. It can because Game of Thrones is very cinematic for a TV show, and it shows that they can reach that heights if you put the same kind of budget into a TV show as you would into a movie. Now, given that Game of Thrones recently dipped a bit in season 5, but now it's been brought up again, it goes to show it has some kind of longevity, that even in the kind of downtimes it can get better. And with the special effects are really good as well. And they've also, I've not really watched recent series, but I've heard they put more of the battles in, and they actually look and feel like battles as to before, where
Except his floppy sword.
except
really
his floppy
funny.
sword, and she's not talking about a sword. By the way, I winked to Stell. Apart from the floppy sword, yeah, that's why I
Ruined
think
it.
I think Game of Thrones really demonstrates what TV shows can do because.
Okay. And Mathew, you've got Breaking Bad. So,
Breaking Bad, yeah.
So what's your argument for Breaking Bad being the best?
My argument for Breaking Bad is that Game of Thrones is definitely one of the more cinematic, and even Walking Dead has its moments. They're all based on existing material, and there's a strong fan base for both of those existing materials going in. So it's partial to the reason why they started out as strong successes. Breaking Bad came out of nowhere. No one expected a show like this to come about, and no one expected an actor like Bryan Cranston to carry it. Most people were introduced to this guy through Malcolm in the Middle, the silly expressions. He's a great comedic actor, but no one thought, right, this is going to be a serious dramatic thing. There's no way. And then out of the blue, this great performance came out of this man that has escalated into stardom. And not only that, it's one of those prime examples that I like from TV where the focus is primarily on one character, and throughout each season it's a new journey of that character. It's the Sopranos approach, and I like that in TV because it is close and it's got this proximity to it that makes it good for a TV audience because they are closer to the action in that case, because it is a bit more enclosed in a cinema space. You're not feeling like you're left out. You're feeling like you're there in the situation with Walter White, and I think that's why it's brought to light this new attraction to television that people keep coming back to.
Cool. And Megan, you have The Walking Dead.
Cool. I actually absolutely love The Walking Dead. I feel like it's almost in between those kind of two shows where you do have your moments of closeness with characters. My favourite character was Herschel, and I've never got over this fact that he died. So I actually can't appreciate later seasons because I'm so focused on how beautiful Herschel was as a person. But I just find that there's so many cool cinematic approaches to it, but you do get that closeness with the people, and you do get to understand how scary the situation for them is, and how it goes from, at the very beginning, you're absolutely terrified watching it, and as time goes on, you desensitize with the characters. Like, I absolutely love that. I think that's really interesting, because if you get a mate that comes over and watches it like halfway through the season, they're like, oh my god, what the heck is this? And you're like, this is great, this is beautiful, look at that blood. And it's grotesque that you can think like them in a way, and I really like that. I love how it's shot. The only thing that really annoys me is they are basically just going from one scenario to another, and it's almost exactly the same. But that is what happens with survival, like, and it's just going to be that way. I think it's brilliant, but I wouldn't say it's the golden age of TV, or even the start of it.
Now fight it out.
I'd like to argue what both of you guys said about character moments, and you see the closeness happens in even in movies as well as TV shows. That's just a thing about telling visual stories that happens.
That's true, yeah.
And also Game of Thrones has that as well. Like you get the character moments.
The problem is there's too many.
Yeah.
And you're constantly spread thin throughout all these locations.
Very true.
And even in particular, there's some that you don't want to. No one wanted to see Dorne. Everyone hated Dorne, and he will continue to hate Dorne. With Breaking Bad, there isn't really a moment that you can pinpoint, I don't want to see this person on screen right now. Except for Walter's wife, but there's a reason for that. She is the Joffrey of the show, and you revel in just how much shit gets thrown her way, but you absolutely not. Or you hate her when she's thrown over. For her. Well, you can feel sorry for her. You can understand her. But when she throws a spanner into the works of Walter's plans, rather, it's just leave him be. Let him make his own mess.
That's my issue with the show. Like, people get really annoyed with her, and like, I actually don't like Breaking Bad. Like, I find it really boring, and I don't see the hype in it. Like, I've watched it like 3 times because my sister loves it, and I just like, there's something about it. Like, it's so boring to me. Like, I can't sit through something. Like, I have a really bad time. Like, last night I tried to watch Sons of Anarchy for the 8th time of the 7th season, and I just can't get through it. And I put it on, 20 minutes later I walked away because I got, like, just because I know that it's going to end, like, I don't want it to. But with Breaking Bad, I was like, oh, just get through it, come on, I don't want to see this anymore, like, I'm done.
Funnily enough, if Sons of Anarchy was in that bowl, it'd be like...
yeah. But, like, I don't know what it is about, I don't know what it is about Breaking Bad. Like, I don't think that there's enough substance to it, but not in a way that I actually feel like I come away from it feeling like great. I just feel so drained after it.
You know what would make Breaking Bad and The Walking Dead brilliant though?
Yeah.
Dire Wolves and Dragons.
do you know what would make any of those shows better? Well, Meth is pretty good too. But it's also, with The Walking Dead, you know what you're getting going in, and drama is good. My issue mainly with The Walking Dead is that there is no feeling good after any episode. If you can't marathon Walking Dead like you can with the other 2 shows, because you will slit your wrists trying. It is a show where you will feel nothing but dread, and you will never feel better until you watch something else. Until you watch Adventure Time, will you ever feel good about yourself watching The Walking Dead?
The Walking Dead actually represents how society feels.
Probably. There's a problem with that.
Scottish society.
There's a problem with that.
That's the zombies that the survive.
There's a problem with that though, because The Walking Dead doesn't emphasize how society could get better, how it could improve, and how it could strive to be better people or get the most out of this miserable life while they can. Breaking Bad emphasizes of getting the most what you can in this miserable existence and being good at it. Even Game of Thrones has the sliver of hope throughout it, but it keeps forcing its hand down and saying whatever you think is going to come out on top, it will keep getting pushed down, and you can't feel triumphant about it.
I kind of feel we're kind of leeching off your point, Matthew, is you need highs and lows.
Yeah.
You know, to make the highs high, you know, you need to get the lows, and to make the lows low, you need to have the highs. You constantly need high and low stakes. And I feel like Game of Thrones has that. And the problem with all 3 shows, I think they all have that they always leave it on a bad note. Like,
Yeah.
like it's like the ending of Breaking Bad was quite depressing, even though it probably is the best thing that could have happened to Walter,
Yeah.
given his current situation. But yeah, and basically the end of all our shows, like someone dies, and it's sad.
Okay.
I was going somewhere with that point, but I forgot what it was.
That's alright.
Died.
I think
Yeah.
I think I've heard enough. Shall I get a final thought from everyone? Is that your
Yeah,
final
that
thought?
was
Okay,
it.
I'll get Matthew's final thought, then Megan's final thought, then I'll
Cool.
end it there.
Final thought. It came out of nowhere. It's not based on existing material. It's made a star of Bryan Cranston, and it's defined the close proximity, tight drama that television, I think, should be.
I just think compared to like Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad, like I think that more people would actually watch this because it's slightly, even though it's all of them are kind of in the fantasy realm, Breaking Bad seems like it's more plausible. Game of Thrones, okay, you can kind of take history and like mix it in with it, but I just think The Walking Dead is so far out there in comparison, and I think people like that fact that they're scared at the very beginning or further on into it, they're scared, and it's just a good kind of horror at the same time, and you do get to figure out like how the characters are and stuff like that compared to like a video game, because you don't actually have to kill them. I can't be bothered killing that many zombies. Effort. But I just think it's
You should combine the three properties.
Yeah.
Bryan Cranston makes a drug that turns people into zombies.
That are made of snow.
They're made of snow, yeah.
Okay.
Walter White and the White Walkers.
I think I'm ready to make my ruling. What did you think, Natalie? What arguments swayed you the most? Help me make my final decision.
I think Mathew made a really good argument, to be quite honest. Yeah, I don't really have much to say on that, but yeah, he just made a really good argument.
Okay, fair enough.
Swayed me a bit more, but I liked both you guys. I've actually never watched Game of Thrones, so
it's
that
understandable.
maybe,
missing out.
maybe helps.
Yeah.
Like I've seen bits of it, but I wasn't very impressed.
It's understandable though,
So I was
because
a
I
bit more
think
swaying to the other two.
I think
but,
Game of
yeah.
Thrones actually starts to get poor after season 4.
Yeah.
I just find it like because I
I think
watched.
it's made a good jump. Like I'm one of the defenders of series. Yeah, it's got Dorne in it, but I defend some aspects of season 5. But new season, woo!
I was bored.
It's up there.
I was so bored,
Yeah.
and it's bad to say because it is so cool.
Mhm.
And I'm like Team Cersei all the way. Nobody else is, but there's something about a badass person that's just a nasty person getting to the top of their nastiness.
And you can't get behind Walter White.
But I just there's something about him.
He is the one who knocks.
Yeah, but there's just something about him. Like
Let's
I just
That would be his that would be
just
like
don't
his
think
family
it's
flag.
Okay, I think I'm ready to make my
he's
ruling.
not a bad person.
I've liked what I've heard from everyone. You've all made really strong arguments. I like the idea of the character stuff you're talking about, the closeness, and then also the cinematic aspect. I liked what Craig said. I'm pretty sure it was Craig that said that you get it in movies anyways, and you get that in Game of Thrones just as much as you get in everything. Plus, in Game of Thrones, you do get direwolves and you do get dragons. However, in terms of the cinematography, I would have to say Breaking Bad has the best cinematography, has the most detailed cinematography. You think the amount of detail that goes into that television show, there is no shot that isn't on purpose, and that is an amazing achievement. However, I did not hear enough from Matthew on that. If he had said that, I would have been more straight into him.
Thing with I'm just gonna be annoying.
You can't argue with the judge.
Thing with
I am the judge.
Breaking Bad is they have got all that.
Yeah.
But so does Mad Men. Like Mad Men has got far more.
And
if
I've
that
not seen
and if
Mad
that
Men,
and
so
if
I
that
cannot
if
comment
that
on that.
if that was on the list, I would pick it over Walking Dead because at least I could not feel depressed.
Yeah,
There you go.
but that's actually everything that's in it is timepieced. Even their underwear is timepieced. So like in
But
the sense of.
But I did love the stuff you said about Herschel and the beautiful characters. And I think when you say that there is no light to The Walking Dead, I think that's entirely wrong. Because when you say a character like Herschel is so just a nice guy and so obviously
I have
gets
toys
his head
of
cut
Herschel.
off, spoilers alert,
Like that's
But-
what it is.
I see the lightness in The Walking Dead actually in the characters
That's
rather than
very
in
true,
some nice
yeah.
things that happen.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I did not hear you say that. So for me, I'm gonna have to go with the Dire Wolves and the Game of
Fair
Thrones.
Fair enough.
I think in terms of overall exposure and how massive it is, Game of Thrones clinches it for me. And yeah, so well done, Craig.
It's the one
You won the first ever episode of Pop Culture Debate.
I'm in a tying with Matthew?
No, basically we do the first 4 questions to decide who gets to pick the last question first. They get the first pick, and then whoever wins that question wins the episode.
Yeah. As my winner speech, can I say I'm secretly sad that Breaking Bad didn't win?
Oddly enough, you say that, I want you Game of Thrones. Because here's the kicker.
Yeah.
I've only seen the first 2 series of Breaking Bad.
Oh, it gets so much better after that. Season 3 is amazing.
I know.
Hey fellow nerdologists, it's your host Kenny Milne here, and I just want to say thank you very much for listening to the very first episode of Pop Culture Debate. Tune in next week for another 3 panelists to debate more topics picked by me. And until then, please like, share and subscribe for more awesome nerdology.